Let's start right from the beginning. What attracted you to the beautiful game?
Firstly, thanks for having me. It's an honor to be on the show. I think what attracted me to the game was when I was young. I have a whole football family. My grandfather, my uncles, they're all football-loving people. And if you grow up in that environment, you are destined to play football. And the first present they buy a little boy, it's just football. And so it's just instant love, instant relationship with the game.
Did you always know that you could be a professional footballer?
No, not at all. Up till grade 11, I never knew what I wanted to become. Football was just something I liked doing. Signed a professional contract at the age of 16, and still at that time was not serious about the game. Until someone had a real good talk with me, and then changed everything for me.
Who would you say has been the biggest inspiration in your life, in your career?
There's been a lot of, but the two people that stand out right in front is my mother and my grandmother, because I grew up with them. They raised me. I never grew up with a father, so they were my strength. They were my pillars at all times. And their strength and their character rubbed off onto me, and that is why up till today I feel that I'm still going. Through all the ups and downs that they've gone through, and how they overcome those hurdles has helped me in my career overcome a few hurdles as well.
I'm sure they've made a lot of sacrifices to make you into the man that you are today.
They have. It's not easy raising a son, especially when you're a woman and the community that we grew up in. She was strong, she had discipline, but to raise a teenage boy who doesn't know where he wants to be, it's a tough job, and that's why most of my career and my credit should go to my mom and my grandmother.
Tell us a bit about your childhood and your journey to becoming one of the biggest goalkeepers in South Africa.
I think as a young boy, when I was at the age of 8, my first memories of being a goalkeeper was going with my grandfather to a local beach in the community. It was called Mnandi. We went there, and then we just played around on the field, because every weekend we used to go to the beach. And then what he did was we played with a few friends. Anybody who was on the pitches played a few games, and then he told me, go play in the goals, and I was short, obviously, and then that was my first experience of being a goalkeeper, and that when I playing in those little games made me enjoy. I enjoyed it. I loved being in that position, and from that days onwards, it's just all stuck with me, being a goalkeeper, and I've grown to love it more and more each and every day.
And you love it the same as you did on that day?
Same passion, same, that's what kept me going for so long. It's the passion and the hunger for the sport, and what the sport has done for a player like me, coming from the community that I come from, what it has done for me, and that's why I'll always have the special place in this heart, and the love for the game will always be there.
What kind of character does it take to be a goalkeeper? What kind of talent and what kind of character do you need?
I think the first thing, you need to be crazy, because most of them, because not any sportsman is going to put his head on the ground and at the striker's feet. So first and foremost, you have to be crazy and brave, because you're standing in those goals there for 90 minutes of the game all by yourself, where others are all playing together. So you need to have a lot of you need to be a crazy guy, and you need to be vocal and demanding and commanding at times, because you need to control everything. So you need to have all those aspects to be a goalkeeper, but first and foremost, you need to be crazy, and you need to love the job that you're in, because as a youngster, you're playing goalkeeper, you don't get to see the ball that much, because you don't get strong teams at a young age. So you need to love the position, and then from there, just as you grow, it'll get better and better.
You've been playing for so many years. You've played some of the biggest teams in the world, amongst the biggest players in the world. Can you choose a career highlight?
There's so many for me. This game has gave me so much opportunity and to experience in things that I could only dream of. But one that stands out for me is definitely playing in the World Cup, the 2010 World Cup at home. As a young footballer, those are things you dream of. You know, you play in the yard, you play in the street with your friends, and you see this on TV, and you think to yourself, you know what, this is amazing. You know, I want to watch this. There's my favorite player, and then in the back of your mind, subconsciously, you think to yourself, you know what, I want to play there one day. You know, but it's just at the back of your mind, and then when this opportunity comes and you get to play in something you've been dreaming of all your life, it's unbelievable, you know. You always see players crying during World Cups, and you think to yourself, why do they cry? And then I experienced it for myself playing in my hometown in this World Cup, where your whole life flashes in front of you, just thinking from the moment it started to this moment, you know, just comes up in front of you, and all the hard work and the effort that's gone into preparing yourself for this moment, and yeah, it's finally here now. So that definitely has been one of the biggest parts, the biggest achievements in my football career.
That's
Highlights,
so special indeed. Obviously, people see you guys, the footballers, on TV, and they think that, you know, it's a glamorous job, it's easy. It's not. It comes with hard work, trials and tribulations. You know, the whole of South Africa was very upset when you announced your international retirement at that stage. That must have been quite a difficult time for you.
Yes, it definitely was, you know. At that particular time, I just felt that it was time for me to give away, because there was young goalkeepers that was knocking at the door, you know, and at that level, you want to be competing, but you also want to keep the competition healthy, in the sense of, you know, we need to be benefiting one another. Absolutely. And I felt that my mind wasn't in it anymore, so I needed to make a way, because goalkeepers like Senzo Mahiwa, they were knocking at the door. They needed to get the opportunity, you know. And so at that time, yes, it was a hard decision. Playing for the national team was one of my best. It's the dream for me, playing for the national team, because you dream of it every day, you know, and so it's been a blessing for me to be a part of that. But it was a very difficult decision for me, but it was a decision that had to be made.
Who do you find was a coach that mentored you the most, that inspired you the most, and just made you into the player that you are?
There's been so many, you know. There's been so many coaches. At each team that I was, each coach had a part of molding me into the player that I am today. At Ajax Cape Town, at junior level and amateur level, that's what started already. You know, I had a guy like Gregory Jack and guys like Russell Girling that molded the little young boy into being a goalkeeper. You know, and then we moved on. Even before that, there was a guy called Mr. Bachis,
okay,
and Audrey Bachis. Those were when we were little nippers. Those were our coaches and teams. I played for Westdale first, then I moved on to Westridge, where guys like Mr. Gregory Jack, the late Mr. Gregory Jack, and Russell Girling, they helped me grow into the teenagers, you know. Then moved on to Cape Town Spurs, and then there were a lot of coaches right there. Then there was like guys like Sergio dos Santos, but a guy like Louis de Faria brought me into the professional scene. He's a little agent, you know. He was the one that brought me into the professional scene. Sergio dos Santos were there, Coach Frank Lord, and so many more. Then moving on to Ajax again, John Comitas played a massive role in my career, especially at the time I was a rebel, you know, but he stuck by my guy, stuck with me all the years, and helped me progress to the next level, you know. And then the different movements to the teams of, first I came to Bidvest Wits. Coach Booby was there, Alan Marcus helped me as a goalkeeper coach. So every team I went to had a coach that had a part of my career. At Orlando Pirates, Rudy Kroll, Augusto Palacios, and the goalkeeper coach Alex Heredia. Not Alex Heredia, sorry, just Alex from Brazil. And William Okpara, they played a massive role. And then coming back here again for me to be carrying on, guys like Gavin Hunt, Andre Arendse, played massive parts in my career, but all that had to be guided. That whole movement throughout my career had to be guided, and it was guided by my agents, MSC Sports, Neil Jankovic and Barney. Those guys, they were always there, just helping me stay in line, because I was not one of your serious professionals. You know, I needed guides, and they played massive roles in it for me.
Do you believe in that statement that sports has the ability to change lives?
Definitely. If I should say so myself, me especially, you know, I come from Mitchell's Plain, you know, and that says a lot already. because it's a community that does not allow you a lot of opportunities, you know. And football offered me an escape outside that little box, you know, escape from the reality. And then, fortunately for me, I had people that guided me and urged me to latch onto that. And latching onto that, it took me out of that community. You know, yes, our community had love, it had everything, but it has a lot of bad elements as well. You know, I'm not trying to paint Mitchell's Plain as a bad picture, but the community has its bad elements, and you can get sucked in. And luckily for me, I escaped that. You know, and football has taken me to parts in the world that I've only dreamed of. You know, and I'm super blessed for what the sport and footballing specifically has done for me.
Do you think you've inspired quite a few people back home? I mean, they look at from what you came to where you are now and they say, that's where I want to be.
I hope so. I really hope so. You know, because there's so much talented people from where I come from. There's so much unbelievable talent, but the opportunity is so little, you know. And what is hardest for, you have so much talented kids, but you have parents working so hard that cannot afford to give them that opportunity to go and take a taxi to go and see if they can fulfill their dreams, you know. So I'd like to think that I gave them that little bit of hope to say, you know what, if I want something, I need to go and make it happen. It will not happen for me. Just that hope. That's what I'm hoping that I left with him.
That's what it's about, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is there, or who has been a player that you've enjoyed playing the most with, or that has inspired you to just continue?
There's many players, you know. Firstly, a goalkeeper like Wayne Roberts. When I started off, he was my ultimate footballing hero.
Why?
Because he was just such a talent. He came from the same community as well, you know. Such a talented goalkeeper. You know, and when I got to Cape Town Spurs at first, I was just so in awe of him, you know, because he was there, and he took me under his wing and he guided me, you know. And I moved on from there. Then there was guys like Andre Arends, Stanton Fredericks, David Kannemeyer. Those are all players that urged me on to keep going, you know, because they love the game so much, and that's all you need to do if you know, playing a sport. Not many get this opportunity to do something that they love, and here we get to do it every day. And those guys, for me, played massive roles in making me see the good that this sport can offer us, you know. So there's so many more players that I've obviously forgot to mention, but you know, Dylan Shepherd, one of them, Andre Arends, Rowan Fernandez, all these guys, you know. It's been Brian Beloy. I've met up and you know, got to share part of my career with them. So each of those players have been major in my career. Benny McCarthy, sorry, that's one of them. Because I'm so far away from us now that I forgot about Benny McCarthy as well. You know, one of the true icons of our game, and from our communities as well, that show that anything is possible. You know.
Most capped PSL player in South Africa, that is a massive achievement. I mean, that just shows what an illustrious career you've had.
Yeah, it's been long, eh? It has been long. But I've enjoyed every minute of it, you know. The ups and the downs, you know, the learning curves. I've enjoyed every minute of it, in a sense. To me, it feels like it all started yesterday, you know. That's why I still have all this energy and this passion for it, you know. So, God willing, I'll be able to carry on for more years. As long as this passion is burning inside me, I'll keep fighting.
Well, you were at Wits, you went to one of the biggest clubs in South Africa, and then you came back to Wits. Has this always been sort of home for you?
Yeah, it has always, you know. My first, you know, they say always the Cape Town boys struggle to adjust in Johannesburg. So they were my first. This was my first home away from home, and then I've always had a good bond with this club, you know.
What makes it so special?
It's an ambitious club. And that's me. I'm always ambitious. I always want to achieve things. And this club just defines that word. You know, they're ambitious. They always want to succeed, always trying to succeed. And for me, that's good enough. You know, as long as you just have that hope to try, to push to succeed. And that's what always has this place in my heart. Since the first time I came here, moved to Orlando Pirates, and then coming back here, has just gone from strength to strength. And I'd want to be a part of that generation that brings back trophies to Bidvest, because I think they deserve it for what they've been putting back into the game.
That's the thing. People think that Wits will always be maybe an average club, but I mean, you guys have been going for top honours for a couple of years now. What is it that has made this club successful? Has it been Gavin Hunt? Has it been the players, the management?
It's from the top. It starts right at the top. You know, guys like Jose Ferreira, even our boss Brian Joffe. If you have a look at him, you know, he's always looking for that next opportunity to succeed, pushing the boundaries. You know, and that has filtered down right through. You know, and now you've signed a coach like Gavin Hunt who doesn't understand losing. He doesn't understand losing. He has a winning mentality, and that just runs down to the players that winning mentality now, where first Bidvest was happy at being a mid-table team, and he's come along and he's changed things around where we want to start winning things now. We ended up third last year, got in the Nedbank Cup final. We're in with the chance this year as well. So it's always, every year it's getting better. So sooner than later, we'll get some silverware for this team because of the attitudes and the desire from the technical staff and our management to want to be successful.
That's what we like to hear.
Yeah.
Tell us a bit about your time at Orlando Pirates. What was that?
Unbelievable for me. Best part of my career was playing for Orlando Pirates, because every footballer goes through the career wanting to win things, and being given the opportunity by Orlando Pirates to play on that stage of football, where week in, week out you play in front of big, passionate crowds, and only takes your game to the next level. I think from there, moving to Orlando Pirates, my game went to the next level, because I never understood at first what it was to win things. And going to Orlando Pirates, where that winning mentality was instilled through all the years, they're a winning brand, and getting there at first was a bit tough for me, because I never understood what it was to be at the best of your game even from training sessions onward, and they implemented that in my mind. So I struggled in the first year, got second year got the understanding, and from then onwards it was just a bliss for me.
Is it quite a difference playing for a team like Orlando Pirates and Wits, like in terms of supporters, money, you know, all that kind of stuff?
Not money-wise, I can guarantee you that. Not money-wise, but supporters-wise, yes, definitely. Because our supporters now recently have started coming to the games. We've been packing our little stadium, and that's been good, you know. But with the Orlando Pirates, that's been a brand for a number of years. Those supporters were hungry for success. There was a 10-year drought. I think it was a 10-year drought before we started winning something. And then when I got there, the pressure just started to build even more, because they were signing quality players and they needed to win things. First year it never went for us, and then second year, that's when it started to click, and that's when I saw that how big and a massive team this is. I remember the first signing for Orlando Pirates. The chairman told me, you know what, Moeneeb, your life is going to change now. And I never understood what he said, because he said, now you will belong to the people. And then I signed the contract, then first few weeks after that, that's when I saw everything change. You get more attention, you're always in the papers. You're always in the public eye. And that was hard for me to deal with at first, but then I got used to it, because I'm not someone for the public eye, you know. And then that was when we just knuckled down and started to focus, and that's when we started winning things for our team.
Moeneeb, you're also a family man. We saw your kids here with you training. I'm sure that has also just made you the person that you are, sort of settled in a life that you're living now.
Yeah, massive. It's been massive for me. You know, that's been my key. That's been my safety net, because you know, in football, especially when I was at the Orlando Pirates, we get criticised left, right, and centre. Get criticised on national level, you know. And then to go back to your family, that's just your security. Your security, you know. To have them there, knowing that they don't see you for the footballer, they see you for the person and the family man and the dad that you are. And that is what you need them for. That is your pillars of strength, your family, you know. Because most people see you on television, all they see is the entertainer. That's all they see is the entertainer. They don't know the person that's off the field. You're a totally different person, you know. And that's where your family comes into play. Whereas things don't go in the football world, you need your family to be around and to keep you grounded, because this game can swallow you in, you know. Young players from today, they get swallowed in to the life, the bright lights, the fancy cars and the good life, you know. They get swallowed in because of that, and family is key, you know. Family is key to keep that to keep you focused, and especially knowing that I'm a breadwinner. That's what it kept reminding me. I'm the breadwinner in this family, and I need to be focused. So that is why family was very, very important to me, and is still up till today.
Will there be pressure on the boys to become footballers?
No, not at all. But, they have their different loves, but just now recently they got the goalkeeper bite, you know, the bug. So I'm sure they'll be taking over, but I won't be forcing them. I want them to do what they want to do, you know, because it's easy. It looks nice. Football looks nice from the outside, but it's a lot of hard work and a lot of ups and downs with the game. And if they pursue this career, I'll be there to support them. If not, I'll still be there to support them.
Moeneeb, one thing I've got to ask you when we're talking about your mom and your family is, what was the first game that she came to watch, and what did she say to you when she watched it?
That was such a good question. I can remember the first game. I was playing for Cape Town Spurs. We played Orlando Pirates at Athlone Stadium, and it was my first game, my first massive game. And I remember the morning of the game, I woke up and I told her, Mom, listen, I had a dream. I dreamed of this one player, Dumisa Ngobe, kicking me, and I'm being stretched off the field, you know. And she told me, no, don't worry, man, it's going to be all right. You're just nervous and everything, you know. And then the night time the game came, and it was a packed stadium. Athlone Stadium was packed. 20 minutes into the game, they got a through ball. I went to close the ball, and who's facing me? Dumisa Ngobe. He clattered me, and that was it. I got stretched off from the field. My dream came true. And they said the first thing I called for was my mom. And when I got to finally see where I am, looked around in the change room, my mom and my grandmother were standing right there in the change room, you know. They forgot about the game, they were there for me. And that was my first memory of my mother and my grandmother being at the game for me. So as much as we grow up and we be big boys, we'll always be mommy's boys.
Absolutely, and she must be so proud.
I think so, yeah. I hope so, you know, because it wasn't easy for her, so I always wanted to support her, be that one to support her, because she's been there for me through thick and thin, and I wasn't an easy child, you know. So I just hope that I've made her proud, and yeah, that I could have helped her in her struggles as well.
We saw you earlier in the field with a couple of the youngsters, sort of giving your words of advice, teaching them how it's done. I'm sure you were a mentor for so many of the boys here.
Yeah, because you know what, we have so many youngsters coming through. That's what I love about this team as well. We have a good academy, and those boys they've been feeding those boys up to the first team. And once you come up to the first team, it's a totally different game to where you play in junior football. So we as senior players have to be there to guide them and help them through those paths, because when we were at that age, we had that guidance, you know. So we're just trying to give back as well to what's been given to us, and wherever we can help, I'll be grateful to do that.
Maybe coaching someday?
You know, I'm not thinking that far yet, but I definitely have a passion for the game, and I'm sure someday when I'm done, I'll probably go into that. But at the present moment, I still want to be in this 18-yard area and not on the outside, because I sit there and look at Gavin and I think the stress they go through, you know. But that's what makes them the coaches and at the pedigree that they are, you know. So yeah, so hopefully we'll see, God willing.
100, and as we said, over 100 caps, the most capped player in the PSL. You've probably achieved everything you want to achieve, but is there still something that you need to do in your career?
Yes, there is definitely. Win a trophy with Bidvest Wits, you know. So I came here, new challenge, new goals. and I need to fulfill those goals, and God willing, we will fulfill those goals, because it's a team that needs some silverware, because they've just been unbelievable in their growth, and we need to add to that to show that this team needs respect, and we're going to be working and doing everything for them to get that.
Is there a player that you were ever afraid of?
No, not really. Not
Or when you
really.
saw them coming,
Yeah. Any striker, it's just it's a challenge. It's not a fear. It's more of a challenge, because you know that he's trying to get the ball in the back of your net, and you trying to prevent that. So that challenge for me has always been appreciated and always been welcomed, because it just takes your game to that level where it needs to. That was one of the joys of the game. That is one of the joys of the game for me. It's that competition.
What words of advice do you have for any up-and-coming young footballer who believes he has a future in this country?
Normally they say stay humble, but you cannot be humble without your family. Your family will keep you grounded. Once you have your family's backing, you'll know what is important for you in this life, and definitely to not to expect things to happen. You need to go and make it happen. Take every opportunity. You might think to yourself, no, it's raining today, I'm not going to go. That's the opportunity missed. So you have to go and make it happen if you want to achieve in this game.
Moeneeb, thank you very much for speaking to us. We wish you all the best, and we hope to see you on the field for a good few years.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.